Hello guys and welcome back to some Frosti-Town. Today we're gonna be modeling something like this, so let's start. Alright, so let me turn on my screencast keys. Alright, now the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna add a plane RX90, and we're gonna add a plane and we're gonna bring it down, and we're gonna press Ctrl Alt 0. We're gonna scale this up and we're gonna go Ctrl Alt 0, and we are going to set the camera to right about here. And the next thing what we are going to do is we're gonna go into edit mode. We're gonna subdivide this by I'm gonna subdivide this by 100 cuts, and what we are going to do is, first thing first, we are going to set up our camera to right about here, just right about here. I'm gonna scale this guy on the x-axis to right about here. Then we're gonna select this guy G and Y, and we're gonna bring the scroll wheel down a bit to right about there. We're gonna select this guy G and Y, bring it right about here. We're gonna select that guy and we're gonna bring it out right about there. G and Y, right about there. G and Y, and right about there. G and Y, and right about there. Select this guy too and bring it right about here. The next thing I'm gonna do is we're gonna press Ctrl 4, so we have something like this. Let's save this, and we're gonna press Shift D and G and Y, and we're gonna bring it to right about here. Let's turn these guys on for a moment. Shift and tilde, and we're gonna bring it to right about here. We're gonna go into edit mode and we're gonna do some changes over here to right about here. I'm gonna select that guy and we're gonna bring it to right about here, just to create that cave look. So we have something like this. Let's save this. Alright, the next thing we're gonna do is we are going to create a cube, scale it down, bring it right about here, and we're gonna go into face select and we're gonna add a loop cut. We're gonna select this face, we're gonna extrude it out to right about here. We're gonna extrude this guy out to right about there. We're gonna extrude this guy out to right about here, and we're gonna extrude this guy out to right about here. The next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna press Ctrl 4, and we are going to go into Shadings tab, and we're gonna go back. We're gonna select the floor, and we're gonna add a noise texture. We're gonna add a color ramp, and we're gonna add a bump node. I'm gonna plug the normal into the normal, plug the factor into the height, factor into the factor, and I'm gonna plug the color into the roughness. I'm gonna bring the base color down a bit. I'm gonna bring the detail up, and we are going to bring it down to right about here. Alright, so we're gonna select this guy and we're gonna create a new material, and we are going to add a Musgrave texture. Plug the height into the roughness, bring the color down, detail up, dimension down, and we are going to add a noise texture. Plug the factor into the vector, bring the detail up, and let's mess with the distortion a bit, and we're gonna add a bump node. Plug the normal into the normal, plug the factor into the height, so we have something like this. So we're gonna select this guy and we're gonna give it material number 2, so we have something like this. Alright, so the next thing what we're gonna do is we are going to create a path RZ90. Let's go into camera for a while and bring it back to right about here, and bring it to somewhere right about here. We're gonna select our path, we're gonna go into geometry, and we're gonna give it, let's scale this guy down, and we're gonna give it some depth. We're gonna select this guy and we're gonna bring this guy down, and we're gonna bring it somewhere right about here. Let's scale this guy down a bit, give it some depth. I'm gonna shift D this and bring it down, G and X, and shift D, G and Z, and probably just bring it down to right about here. Let's save this. Alright, now the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go into preferences, add-ons, and we're gonna write Blender Kit. It comes by default, so turn this guy on. So we're gonna go into layout, and we're gonna go into world settings, and we're gonna turn down the world settings. We're gonna select our rock, and we're gonna go into Blender Kit. We're gonna go into materials, and we're gonna write rock. So when you write rock, you'll get this material. So Usually it's right about here, but I can't find it. What's the matter? What if we turn this guy on? You can't seem to find it. I don't know. Oh, there it is. Finally. Okay, so it's Volcano. This could work too. Let's go back, shall we? Scale it down and bring it somewhere right about here. Scale it down, and I'm gonna go into face select. Gonna add a loop cut. Select this face and it outwards, select this face, extrude it outwards. Select this face and extrude outwards. Select this face and extrude outwards. Give it Control 4, and we're gonna go back here and give it. There we go. Okay. The next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna bring it right about here, and we're gonna scale this guy up. I'm gonna keep it to individual origins. Shift D, G and Y, bring it right about here. Shift D, G and X, scale it up. Bring it somewhere right about here. Shift D, G and X, and bring it somewhere right about here. Shift D, G and Z, and bring it somewhere right about there. Shift D, G and Y, and bring it somewhere right about there. So we have something like this. Cool. So we have something like this. Alright, so let's save this. And the next thing is something that we can do is either we can select a cube and bring it to right about there, and give it that. So we have something like this. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. You can do this without this emissive cube. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and you can also add a volume and give it 0.02. And let's go to the light, delete that, and add a area light. Bring it somewhere right about here and bring it up. And bring it somewhere right about there. And we're gonna give it an orange color. So there you go, guys. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, give it a like, give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, share. As always, stay frosty, and Frosti-Town signing out.